Ik heb vakantie. Oh. Maar er zijn gewoon 2 mede-podcasters in de Dutch Mafia. Die hadden we allebei dag mee. Dus ik ga even met de microfoon van een mond opnemen.
So let me tell you my story about Unbound 200. I first learned about this race in 2016 or 17. One day I came across an article that described this gravel race through the middle of America. It was really long. It was already 200 miles at that time, of course. And it just described this raw, pure style of racing, which I always really liked. And ever since I read that article, it was like, okay, this is something that I want to do at one point in my life. Good morning from Texas. I'm getting ready for Locos, so I'm just packing my stuff. I got my hydration pack filled with ice, my bottles filled with ice, because today it's going to be scorching hot. So let's get in the car on my way to Heiko and see what I can do against all these Dutch mafia folks. Since coming over to the US is not a small trip to do, I wanted to make sure that I get the most out of this trip as possible. So that's why I also decided to sign up for Gravel Locos the week prior to Unbound. And this is mainly 2 reasons. Reason 1 being I wanted to test my legs and also to get used to the heat a little bit and get used to the style of racing in the US. But also I just generally wanted to see a smaller event with a more laid-back feeling, a laid-back vibe. And I think Gravel Locos is a really great event to discover gravel racing in the US. It's generally a lot smaller and a lot more laid-back than Unbound would be. Gravel Locos is a small gravel event held in Heiko, Texas, and it's organized by a group of passionate bike riders and passionate organizers. And it's great to see that the small community in Heiko is fully supportive of this event. And yeah, it's generally a really great vibe that this event has. And the racing is great, the roads are smooth. And the best thing is, if you're still in need for some last-minute heat adaptation, you can just travel to Heiko, Texas, and you can get that last little bit of heat adaptation in just before Unbound. So that's great as well. We're about 40 minutes out for a start. Vibes are good. I just did my little quick warm-up spin, and it's already getting really humid. So it's gonna be a really hot day today. But since this is going to be so hot today, I think my tactic will be to not go full gas. And yeah, don't follow this guy. Don't follow the guy in blue. He is going to be like a rocket. He became 5th in Traga like a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, that's definitely out of my league. So yeah, just take it easy. Don't follow the pros. You're gonna have a good time. Enjoy some of the Texas gravel. It's really good. It's not as chunky as I thought it would be. So it's smooth, fast. I think it will be a fast race today. Not too much elevation. There's only these 3 bitches, they call them, in the middle of the road. So I think we will experience those. It's gonna be a fun day, I think. Looking forward to it. This is quite the contrast from the UCI races. If you can see the clock there, it's 8:04. The start is at 8:30. And there's literally nobody in the start grid. Like, this is amazing. Please use gravel races. Look at this. This is the way to do it.
4, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go!
After 6 months of relentless preparation, the day had finally come. My first ever gravel race on American soil. I found myself shoulder to shoulder with my heroes, riders I'd looked up to for years. Up until this moment, this could have only been my imagination, a distant dream. But now, I was here, at the pointy end of the race, with the heavy hitters, the big guns, names I had only seen on leaderboards, now just inches away. Every turn of the pedals felt surreal. I was holding the wheel, matching the moves. I could count every fiber in their legs. And for a brief moment, I let go of the plan. I rode like I belonged, like I was one of them. I stopped thinking, stopped calculating. I wasn't riding to survive. I just wanted to feel it. The rhythm of a race I had only ever watched from afar. But dreams don't last forever. Reality caught up. The race changed. The pace went up. A subtle shift at the front, barely noticeable, but brutal. The group stretched, gaps opened, and I felt it immediately. My legs started screaming, every pedal stroke heavier than the last. I tried to hang on, just a little longer, but the wheels I was following began to slip away. Inches turned into meters, meters into silence. And just like that, I was dropped. The front group disappeared into the dust, and I was left alone, chasing shadows. In that moment, it hit me. I wasn't one of them. But even in that silence, I knew one thing for sure. This was only the beginning of my American gravel adventure.
What you need, man?
This is electrolyte limeade, and this is all water.
You want ice on your back? You want ice on your back?
Yeah, ice on your back.
Need all the ice. Good stuff, man.
Got the feeling in your bones, make you feel right at home. Honey does it well, keep me dancing till I'm dead.
Texas.
Texas, man, the Texas heat's something else.
Yeah, really something else. Only 40 kilometers left. It's totally fucked. Camera was full, bottles were empty, head was fucked. But now I got 2 Cokes, 1.5 liter of water, and 2 bottles again. So, final bit of Texas heat to the finish. We'll get there.
Got the feeling in your bones, make you feel right at home. Honey does it well.
We're now final 20 kilometers. It's so freaking hot. It's 37 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that translates to Fahrenheit, but I think it's like boiling hot. It's a little bit of a surviving mode at the moment, I must say. But I think everybody is really, really struggling in the heat.
Ain't looking back, ain't looking. Ain't looking back.
Alright, coming through with some speed. Hendrickson, Walter Hendrickson from Sittard, Limburg. Oh yeah.
Gravel Locos aftermath. Dusty aftermath. Look at all the dust on this bike. Gonna clean it off.
Well, you hear stories people finishing just before midnight, you know. You're starting at 6:30 and then finish at midnight. I mean, holy fuck, I didn't want to end up, to get into that story.
To prepare as good as possible before this race, I had a talk with Arjan, who finished in 14th spot in the same amateur class race that I will participate in this year in Unbound. And he learned me a lot of great things. So if I am able to get a good result out of this race, I think it's also mainly due to his knowledge and his experience that he shared with me in an earlier video.
I mean, you need some accommodation and the car, of course. I mean, it's the whole package which makes it expensive, of course.
Yeah,
and
it's a big investment, right? If you're not sponsored or anything and you need to make that investment yourself, you need to be very dedicated to in order to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Put in that investment.
It's not just a weekend, so The most important thing, I think, is making, as I said, lots of hours on the bike. Just make sure you just make so many hours as you can do. Next to that, I think it's also material, right? So be prepared on what. I think this year's 2025 is also the North course, right? So the same as I did last year.
I must honestly say that I haven't looked at the course yet. So.
Oh, Wouter, what's that?
It's we're now. It's 3 weeks before Unbound.
You're getting scared, right? That's it.
Honestly, I think 200 miles is brutal anyway, and I think you need to be prepared for the most brutal scenario. So definitely, I'm going to have a look at the course before I go there, but I don't want to be worried about like these details already, like 3 weeks before the race.
Yeah, okay. Can only make you nervous. Yeah.
I'm already I'm already trying different tires for like 3 months, and I still don't know which tire I need to go and choose. So.
Yeah.
And I think if we're talking about Unbound, we also have to talk about the course. This year in 2025, the race was held on the North course. The North course is mostly known for its rockier sections, so it's a lot less smooth than the South course is. But the good thing is there is a lot less peanut butter mud when it has rained. So the course should be more hard packed in some places, a little bit rougher in other places, but generally speaking, not too much of that peanut butter mud that everybody hates. But of course, the week prior to Unbound, it started raining a lot. Let me just say that the peanut butter mud that Unbound is pretty known for will probably be pretty peanut buttery. It's going to be such a fun race. All right, the myth is real. I just did, what was it, 100 meters? Look at my tires. So it's definitely sticky. It's definitely sticky. Yep, it's sticky. Sticky as fuck. Oh my god. I always thought like, this must be like some kind of myth. Like all this peanut butter mud. It won't be like that sticky. But man, it's really sticky right now. I also do think it's look at this. It is pretty wet, so I mean you can also see behind me that it's really wet. The sun is out today. Tomorrow will also be sunny, 26 degrees. So I think this will dry up, but definitely this will be a hard section. And you're already this is almost on a third, a little bit over a third. So yeah, it will definitely be hard. Let me clear this mud out and take the walk further. It sure is muddy as hell. Jesus. Just look at this goopy consistency, man. I've never seen this in my life. It's like so sticky. Look at how my shoes are looking. What the f, man? Don't bring white shoes to Unbound, people. Oh, fuck, man. Don't bring white shoes to Unbound. Dumbest idea ever. So I did a couple of recon sessions and the peanut butter mud was actually there. It was not in a lot of places, but the places that had this peanut butter mud were almost impossible to ride through, and even walking was really, really difficult. So I learned during these recons that, yeah, peanut butter mud is definitely a real thing. And yes, you need to have some sort of stick with you in order to scrape this mud off your tires and your bike frame, because otherwise your bike will just be a dead weight and you better can just walk with your bike in that case. But as race day came closer, the clouds started disappearing, the sun started shining, and also the course dried up really, really quickly. Good morning, it's Friday today, the day before the race, and as you can see, the sun is out and conditions are actually perfect. It's not too hot, not too cold, not too windy. So if this is going to be the same as tomorrow, then that will be a nice condition. And with these hot and dry conditions, the course started to dry up really, really quickly, and on race day there was no peanut butter mud left at all. Right in the middle of the night, you need to do all the breakfast and stuff. I can only imagine.
Start your day with pancakes at 4 o'clock during the night. I mean, in the car, having some extra pancakes with us, just to, be fueled up, let's say. But yeah.
Je bent veel te ontspannen, joh.
Goede voorbereiding, stappenwerk.
Ik hoop dat lekker babbel vandaag wel gespaard blijft.
Ja, mij ook. Hey man!
Hey man!
Let's go! How you feeling? Ready?
I think so.
Yeah! Let's go!
It's go time! It's go time!
Unbound gravel! My skills!
Being there on the start line of Unbound 200 after more than 6 months of training was a little bit of a special feeling. I got some goosebumps on my arms, and I kind of have that anxiety, or I would say nerves, in my stomach. And for a moment I just told myself, hey, don't worry about it, everything is going to be okay. It's just another bike race, and let's just make sure we are going to enjoy this race to the fullest. That's the most important thing today, just going to enjoy it. So that's what I tried to do, enjoy it to the fullest. And just before you know it, it's go time. And that's when all the chaos starts, usually. But not in Unbound. Unbound is such a different race to what I'm used to. Everybody on the start line is so relaxed, so laid back, and even during the first 2-3 hours of the race, nobody seems to be even worried about their position in the peloton. And it's so easy to navigate through all these groups. It doesn't even feel like a race at some point. It feels like I would say a training ride with your friends and an occasional town sprint.
We went for each other like a bullet from a gun. Faster than the sheriff's drawing, hotter than the sun. Didn't see it coming lately, I've been on the run. You know you've seen my face before, so let me play it.
Penguin riders.
Darling, you fell in love with the famous man. See my pictures posted everywhere across the land. And if you run with me, you got to understand that you're holding on to a dangerous hand.
It was a real slow start into the race, and usually I'm pretty good in that because I can really kill myself in the first 2 hours of a race and never recover from that. So having a slower start is, generally speaking, pretty good for my race.
It's just like a social group ride here.
It's another 270 kilometers to go.
But after 3 hours of racing, the racing heats up and it's time to tackle the first obstacle of the day, Divide Road.
See my pictures posted everywhere across the land. And if you run
This part of the course is known because it's pretty rough. If I had to describe and translate it to European gravel, it's somewhere between Limburg in the Netherlands and the Ardennes in Belgium. It's a bit rougher, with some sections going downhill and uphill, and you really have to choose your own line.
would you head for the hills if they found me? Would you turn me in for the bounty? Or vultures are circling around me? Would you die by my side?
And as we are almost at the end of Divide Road, I start to look around me and I notice that we're only with 5 riders. There's a small group of 10 to 15 riders just behind us, and they're able to close the gap still. So eventually we end up with 20 riders in front of the race. After the decisive section in Divide Road, it is time to start packing up for the first feed station of the day.
What happened really is I mean, I think I was in a group of 30 or 40 people or so, and then just before you hit the city, it's just I mean, guys, we all need some water, right? All looking at each other, and because at the end, some people see it as a competition, and yeah, but I mean, you just need to stop. You need that water.
Since I did not have a Swanee who was very experienced in these type of races in the feed zone, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was taking their time in changing their bottles and changing their camelbacks and all that kind of stuff. So I went around in the group and I asked a couple of guys, hey, what is your plan? Are you going to stop or are you going to power through the feed station? And most of the guys told me that they would stop at the feed station, take their time and wait for the group at the end of the feed station. As I was filling up my camelback, I suddenly see a group of 7 riders blasting through this feed station. And before I knew it, I was riding with my camelback on my belly, trying to close it. and also trying to close the gap to those first 7 guys who blasted by. And directly after the first feed station in Elma, it's a pretty long climb out of the city, and I use that in my advantage to close the gap to this first group, and we end up with 8 guys in front of the race. And it seemed that those other 12 guys were never coming back to us because the gap behind us was really, really big. I couldn't even see them anymore. So from now on, it was basically the 8 of us, and I didn't like how that went with the feed station, but that's all part of racing, and yeah, you need to stay sharp at every moment in the race. So with the 8 of us, we set course towards Little Egypt. That is the second decisive part of the course. With some steep climbs and some rougher sections, this part of the course will most probably split this group up in a couple of smaller groups. So I started to notice that some riders are saving up their legs for Little Egypt. So we're basically just taking turns with the 3 of us. That's Max in the white jersey, Taylor in the black jersey, and me. The other 5 guys are just refusing to take turns, and I think at that moment, all right, it's either that you cannot take turns or you are not willing to take turns. And if they're not willing to take turns, then I will definitely flick these guys in the end of the race. But this is not how it went. Taylor was really strong the whole day, and as we were riding into the Little Egypt section, I hear the guy behind me puncture. And as I look back, I see the white jersey of Max, and that was actually a real big bummer for me as well, because he was one of the guys that was actually willing to cooperate, and we're now just losing one guy that was really, really strong in that race, and yeah, that was a big bummer to see. And as we're rolling into Little Egypt, I just tried to hold the wheel of Taylor, and yeah, he just is setting a really, really high pace that I'm barely able to hold. And this guy is super strong on the climbs, and I was lucky enough to survive the climbs in Little Egypt, but it really took everything that I got. And I knew after Little Egypt it would be a little bit easier. So if I would survive Little Egypt and Taylor would let me sit on his wheel for a little bit, I was maybe able to recover a little bit, drink something, eat something, and then we could continue the race with the 2 of us. And that's pretty much how it went until we reached the next water point.
Watch out! Sorry! Sorry! Come on, back again. Go, girls! Hey, wait. 10 seconds. All on me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's good. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Awesome.
It was getting a little bit hot at that time, and I started to feel the consequences of the heat a little bit. I started to sweat a little bit more. I started to have a harder time taking turns in front. With almost 100 miles to go, I started to feel my legs cramp up a little bit. and every little of those kickers just became harder and harder, and Taylor, he just powered over them like they weren't even there. And every time the road went a little bit up, it started to feel heavier and heavier, and I was struggling to follow his wheel. And at some point we were on this road, like it had a small incline. It wasn't even that steep, but at that point I just had to like let him go, because I could not ride with that pace for another 100 miles. It was just not possible. I wasn't good enough to follow his wheel for the remainder of the race. So from that point on, it was just a matter of making sure my nutrition and my hydration were on point, and just trying to ride a solid pace towards the finish line. A lot of people describe racing in Unbound as a death by 1,000 paper cuts, and after riding solo for almost 100 miles, I understood what they meant with a death by 1,000 paper cuts. Every time the road went up by a little bit, it just became harder and harder to reach the top of those little kickers, and it was every time you thought, okay, I'm like on top of this one, and you're just rounding the top and you're looking up to the next one, and it's like the same thing over and over again. It was really a long day.
Want to sport on you?
Yeah.
Gels? How many? Just stuff your pockets?
Leave it there.
Yeah, okay.
It's gotta be near the front for amateurs.
Henk,
Okay, palms.
tot straks.
Dat duurt nog wel even, shooter.
Ja, wensen veel succes.
Give me a black motorcycle, give me playback on a vinyl and some cheap aviators from 65. Give me snakeskin boots, skull swaying like a noose, and I'll be clinging to the back of this Indian bike.
I just did the last feed station, and I've been pedaling alone for 3 hours now, and I'm hoping to bring this one across the finish line in second place, but man, it's getting really hard and tough right now. After doing around 60 miles solo, I kind of felt that the legs were starting to get empty, and I didn't feel as powerful anymore as I did a couple of hours before. But at that time, I still thought I had around 5 or 6 minutes on the group behind me. So I thought, okay, 5 minutes, I still got 40 miles to go. It should be doable to maintain this gap and reach the finish line in a second spot. So I decided to take a nature break, and then all of a sudden there's this group of 6 guys blasting by, and they basically came out of nowhere. I had no idea that they were so close behind me.
Give me playback on a vinyl and some cheap aviators from 65.
I'm done. Just got overtaken by a group of 6, I think, 5, which were riding like a few minutes behind me. And I was just taking a nature break, and they flew by, and I couldn't catch on, and they're away. So there goes my podium. I'm also too tired to hold the cam up, so I'll see you guys at the finish line. If you would have asked me before the race, hey, if you would finish on a 7th spot, would that be a good result? Would you be proud of that? And I would definitely said yes. I would be super proud to finish on a 7th spot in this race. So I turned on the switch and I just decided to give it everything I had, and even though it hurt, like every fiber in my legs started to hurt at that moment, I just decided that I did not want to give up on this race and on these results. Anything could still happen. So I just wanted to keep myself in this race for the podium, and I just powered on. The sad thing was I passed Max again, who came back with that group and had a flat tire 20 miles before the finish line. If he did not have those 2 flat tires, I think he would have been a real competitor for the win today. And he was actually one of the stronger guys in the group today and kind of decided the race today in that early stage on Divide Road and also before Little Egypt. So I think hats off to him.
There is Emporia. We're in the last 5 kilometers.
I finished the race in the 6th spot and 2nd in my age category, which I am super stoked about. I never thought I would be able to compete for the win or even be this close to the front of the race for such a long time. It really brought back that racing feeling that I have been missing for a couple of years now. It had been a long time ago that I really was able to ride for the win, and I just noticed that when you are riding in the first group for the win, there is always that little bit of extra thing that you can do, and the legs, they absolutely delivered this day, and it was maybe one of the best days on the bike ever. So thank you, Unbound, for this amazing experience.
We damn sure know where we've been, but we don't